I don't know if you guys have heard, but one of the members of TYT has been going through some things. Okay, TYT, a little bit of introspection, circumspection, circumcision, contraspection. We don't know at this point, but a lot of navel gazing and going, ooh, lint. And in that process, this person who is a she, and she'll let you know, on all fronts, has decided she's done. She's had it with the left. Fuck you. And I would like to say to Ana, I will calmly await your apology, you fucking asshole. Okay, so backstory time, and then we will get to the fact that she has now made it official with a Substack post. And I want you to know, if there's a modern version of 2 stone tablets, it's Substack. So here's the story, if I may. Politicon, I was invited to do it once, and I crashed it a second time. But the first time I was invited to actually be on stage with her and a bunch of other people. And she was there happily defending Bernie and all this kind of stuff or whatever. And I was backstage famously talking to her and Liz Winstead. And Liz Winstead, bless her heart, who's a lovely human being, said at one point, I think it's clear when we're all talking together that we all support Bernie. And I said, actually, sorry, Instagram will need to hear this. You're right. Go live. We are now live on Instagram. Sorry about that. Welcome to the show. Talking about Ana Kasparian and her leaving the leaving. So I'm talking with her and Liz Winstead, again, who is lovely. And I say, Liz says, I assume we're all voting for Bernie. She goes, or she didn't even say I assume. She said, of course, we're all voting for Bernie. And I said, actually, I'm for Hillary. Now, there's a myriad of reasons why I was for Hillary. The biggest one being is she was an eminently qualified woman who was the first woman running, and I thought it was about time, and she knows what she's fucking doing, and she spent the majority of her political life trying to do things like SNAP, for poor kids to have insurance and food and shit like that, stuff I kind of like that actually fucking happened. And the right had pilloried her they pilloried Hillary for decades. For that very reason. This bitch is going to give poor kids insurance and food. Fuck her. And so target on her back that entire time. Now, whether you feel like she goes far enough down a road or not is a political discussion. It is not an ethical or moral discussion. And if you disagree with tactics, that is different from saying someone is good or someone is evil. And the other thing is, she was going to be the head of the ticket, period, end of story. Bernie wasn't going to be the person. He was an independent. He was an independent before, and he didn't stay a Democrat. When he ran as a Democrat, he went back to being an independent. Sorry, run as an independent or kiss my ass. If you're going to caucus with the Democrats, become a Democrat, and push the Democratic Party in your way, in that direction, try to direct it, or fuck right off. Now, back then I wasn't incendiary about it. I just preferred her. I had no need to fight against Bernie or any of his supporters. They seemed to be a little agitated and dickish a lot of times. But ultimately, I think a lot of us were like, whoever it was going to be, I would vote for the Democrat because the alternative is Donald Trump and he's fucking awful, as we all knew, as we all saw, whatever. Anyways, really simple, though. It wasn't like I would go, fuck Bernie. If he becomes, I'm voting for Trump, right? I would the thought never crossed my mind. It's absurd, right? So Liz says this, I assume we're all, she goes, and of course we're all voting for Bernie. And I said, I'm voting for Hillary. And at that point, Liz, to her credit, went, oh, okay. And just kind of nodded it off. And Ana went fucking dark. Like, she stiffened and got this look on her face like, like I had just told her that, like I'd leaned in and said, "Hail Hydra," right? So, or I actually, you know, I would argue that I didn't repeat. She said "Hail Hydra" and I didn't agree. Right? It's more like what it was. But she was fucking like, and from that point forward, she was meaner to me and rude and disrespectful, just kind of obnoxious to me, more so than anybody. And fucking the backstage of that place was a pit of vipers. Glenn Beck was there. Robert fucking Davi was there, the guy who directed the Hunter Biden bullshit movie, which is the only like hard copyright strike my channel has ever gotten when I went over that movie and broke down its lies fucking sentence by fucking sentence. Remember that? Okay. So it was, I mean, she was in good company if you were looking for a bunch of assholes. And she was the fucking worst. And, yeah, yes, Anna is Hydra. That's where S.H.I.E.L.D. becomes Hydra. TYT is Hydra, disguised as S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah. So, anyways, ever since then, you know, she and Cenk have been, you know, all about the Hal Sparkses of the world, right? Whenever I call them out on their bullshit, they always kind of extrapolate it like I'm part of a trend. And I'll have you know, I am the Hal Sparks of the world. There are not Hal Sparks. Nobody is responsible for what I say but fucking me. Get it? You understand? There's no Hal Sparkses of the world. There's Hal Sparks, and then there's the rest of the world can say what they want. But no, you can't like blanketly dismiss a bunch of people's thoughts because you don't like what I fucking say. Deal with me or fuck right off. So, anyways, and there's a reason why they do that, because it's, you know, it's because their argumentative structure is like trying to unclog a sink with a Vienna sausage, dickwise. It's lame. Anyways, point being is that all of a sudden, I mean, it's over. She has, I guess, experienced a slight taste of the shit she gave me backstage at fucking Politicon over this stuff when she and TYT were talking fucking voters out of voting, which is their whole fucking gig. It still is. Like, it's why they, and if you don't believe me, that's why they lost a third of their audience to fucking Jimmy Dore, because a bunch of them were, wait a minute, you told me she was a baby killer and now you want me to vote for her? And then they zipped off to watch his fucking dipshittery, right? Okay. Independent and unaligned. Hi there. By the way, this is a woman who has accused me of propaganda, of basically being a conservative, of like it's just like all the pejoratives that get used that she's fucking whining about in this stuff, and that like like Cenk is legit guilty of on a tax level most of the time. Oh my fucking god. She's like, I got these people came and they were so rude and online, and people at work, and like, yeah, asshole, that's how you treated us. This is, and okay. And she cops, I guess, some of it after Trump came in onto the political scene. Yeah, this is all because of Trump. This isn't, yeah, lay it off on the fact that he stirred the shit. Never mind the fact that the TYT has been undermining fucking voting as long as they've existed. That's all they do. That's what TYT is for. It is to mute the vote on the Democratic side, to soften the vote and make people go, what's the fucking point? That's why. Oh, I have a hair on me. Is that going to bug somebody? I was hugging Chip. There, it's gone. You happy now? All right, where's my OnlyFans roller? I need it. Here you go. Bow, chicka, wow, wow, chicka, wacka, wacka, wow, chicka, wow. What's up? All right, so after Trump came onto the political scene, and especially after he was elected in 2016, which she helped make happen, the us versus them mentality immediately took shape. Okay, first of all, hey, dumbass, this is the first time where the us versus them thing actually made sense. It didn't just start happening then. It became material in that, because Democrats want to preserve Roe. Trump and his crowd don't. Do you understand? There is an us and a them in this political situation. They're still political opponents. That doesn't make them enemies. But the distinction was really broad. It didn't get murky like, well, what's the difference? The uniparty? Fuck off. Anyone who refused to resist Trump was seen as a threat to the country. Nah, that's the country. Again, women's rights and the economic future of every citizen, but not the country itself. I think the ground will still be here for the most part. And I was fully on board with that mindset. God, shut the fuck up. It all felt righteous at first. But eventually, the tactics deployed to fight Trump became repetitive, boring, and ultimately fruitless. First of all, fuck you. I'm very entertaining. It's not my fucking fault TYT is boring and full of shit. It's not, you cannot blame, quite frankly, whatever, Randy Rainbow or whatever, and fucking all the people imitating him, and even, it wasn't boring, it was really fun. TYT was repetitive, boring, and ultimately fruitless because, unfortunately for them, they all decided that, like, people still decided to vote, and Trump lost in 2020, which is why she's fucking mad now. Let's trace this back to when she actually started to decay. Right? Yeah, Randy's great. There's a bunch of really entertaining people, not just me, that are out there during this, right? All right. Just because Cenk is a fucking boorish asshole does not mean that the anti-Trump crowd is suddenly fucking boring. Do you get it, what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? All right. Polling shows that he has increased his support among black and Latino voters despite wall-to-wall coverage on his unsavory, racist, or bigoted remarks. Okay. Maybe it's you, asshole. Maybe your commentary is so bad that it's worse. People respond to it worse than his actual racism. And by the way, no, they fucking aren't. Okay, this is what she links to. Donald Trump has doubled his support among black voters, new poll. This is the headline. You guys remember what I told you guys about the yeah buts? The yeah buts in these situations? Okay, check this out. Here's the thing. Morning consult poll of 11,501 registered voters conducted between August 15th and 18th on 2024 found that Trump has garnered significantly more backing from black voters compared to his 2020 run. Well, wow, that's interesting. I guess we should stop reading there. Unless, all right, the 2024 poll shows 21% of black voters supporting Trump, a 12% point increase from 2020 morning consult poll. The poll has a margin of error plus or minus 1 percentage point. Trump's increase in support among black voters contrasts with the poll's finding for Democratic candidates. In 2020, then candidate Joe Biden received 81% support. According to the poll, the Pew Research found that black voters overwhelmingly support Biden in the 2020, with 92% backing his candidacy. So 81 to 92% is the idea. In August 2024, a poll found newly named Democratic nominee Vice President Kamala with a 72% support among black voters. While Harris still polls significantly better than Trump among black voters, she lacks the percentage growth seen by the GOP candidate in this survey. Now, let's get down to the survey. Specifically, the poll found that Trump support among black moderates and black conservatives has increased significantly, doubling among moderates. In 2020, 8% of black moderates supported Trump, whereas 2024, the figure is risen to 19%. Now, how many people on a percentage level do you think would call themselves black moderates in the modern era? What do you think that number is? What do you think that number used to be? 1,000? In this poll, would they have gotten 1,000? How many now? 200? Okay, so what's the percentage difference of 20% of 1,000 versus 80% of 200? See what I mean? This is horse shit. 2020 had 8% of black moderates supported Trump, whereas 2024 the figure's risen to 19%. Okay. Again, in this poll of people who are calling themselves moderates now versus people who are calling themselves moderates then, it's just doofy. Among black conservatives, 44% now back Trump, up from 24% in 2020. The poll also found that the percentage of respondents had no opinion decreased by 5%. Again, black conservatives, people who are never going to vote for a Democrat, black or white. And who calls yourself a black conservative now? I'm dead serious. Do you think the number of people calling themselves a black conservative has gone up versus, I don't know, when Bush was in office? Or even, quite frankly, when Obama was in office? Do you think there were more people comfortable calling themselves a black conservative during that time or during the last fucking 3.5 years of Trump talking shit? See what I mean? Like, this is a self-label, a subset of a subset of a subset, right? And then this is a tweet of Kornacki. Democrats' advantage with Latino voters continues to shrink. 54-40, general election among Latino voters, that kind of thing. Okay, and again, volume is a big part of this. And it's always been split relative to this. And again, Latinos have always been largely socially conservative around gay issues and abortion. That's always going to be the winning part of it. And also, he's big with the pull the ladder up behind them on the lifeboat crowd. The Marco Rubios would be that crowd, right? Now that I'm in and my family's in, fuck everybody else. Like that crowd, yeah, is really big with that. Still, she's way ahead, and it's going to increase. And she's got a Univision interview today, and blah, blah. There's all kinds of stuff. So anyways, back to where we were. Where is this? Dink. Here we go. Several years of media raising alarm over Trump's threat to democracy has only resulted in a tight presidential race between him and Kamala Harris. Maybe it's the both-siderism and the whataboutism that's done that. Maybe it's the sane washing. It isn't people yelling about how awful Trump is, quite frankly. It's the people going, yeah, but, well, but, yeah, but, yeah, but, well, but, yeah, but, well, but, yeah, but, right? Which is, by the way, the entire gig over at the leadership of TYT. I'm sure they have some ancillary people there who are very frustrated at the fact that they're on the Yeah But network when it comes to Democrats. Can't help but acknowledge that this only thing that was accomplished in resisting Trump was less understanding and more division among Americans. I personally became reluctant to challenge my side or engage with voters who disagreed with me. Reluctant to challenge? You were an asshole to them. Like, it isn't even about engagement. You engage because you're a dick. In turn, I became less knowledgeable about the people in the world around me. All right. How many? I don't know if anyone even thought that was possible. I guess it is. You know, who can rule out CTE? I have no idea whether OSHA rules are followed at TYT's headquarters. There may be really low door frames there, and everybody has to walk through them. Like, fuck, man, eventually this is gonna do some lasting damage. MAGA, right. I saw Republican voters as an evil monolith, and that was a big mistake. Yeah, Hillary didn't. I don't want to be, yes, I do. I want to be a real dick about this. Hillary didn't. That's what the basket of deplorables comment was about. Right? There are people you can reach, there are people we can talk to, and then there are obviously people you can't. Let's say they're in the basket of deplorables. She said a basket of deplorables, saying that there is a subset of even MAGA that are they're fucking bananas. They're QAnon nutcases, and you're not going to reach them. But there are a lot of conservatives you can talk to. And she was pilloried by these assholes, including Ana, for doing just that. And then she wants to come back and I saw Republican voters as a monolith, and that was a big mistake. Well, then you owe fucking Hillary Clinton an apology. Because that was the point she was making. Fucking hell. Look, the reality is, yes, Anna's just obviously seen Jimmy Dore's $1 million house, and she's like, what the, how, hey, I want some of the hay. I want some of the, you give me the money. You give me the money. You give it to me. that's where she is. I'm just telling you. So, to, I guess, on behalf of people who consider themselves, quote unquote, the left in this, a good riddance to bad rubbish. To those on the right, they are never going to trust her. And to everybody in the center, we were the people that she mocked the worst. People who actually went, all right, well, I don't want to talk to the fucking basket of deplorables, but if you care about voting, I will argue politics with you. I don't want this to descend into fucking January 6th. And she, and by the way, including like her side gig on the fucking Jacobin network, was like hoping and praying for January 6th and that it would spread and become awful. And we got burn the whole fucking thing down and we'll start from scratch. Fuck all the people that would be in trouble if there was, God forbid, a hurricane in the middle of that shit. Good Lord. How long before she makes her first PragerU video? I don't know. Right after the check clears? Jesus. So anyways, I thought that deserved a moment of attention.